Bonjour mes amis. Today I'd like to talk about this Hamilton Jazzmaster GMT, a gorgeous dress piece that has introduced me into the world of Hamilton, which is a brand with a large history. It was founded at the end of the 19th century, and now it is fully part of the Swatch group, as well as Longines, for example, and it is using ETA movements. And if you've been on the website of Hamilton and looked it up on eBay, these go brand new for around $1,000, and even the quartz models sell upwards of 500 in the retail price, which is quite high. And I was wondering why, and I imagine it was because of the finish. And so when I found this GMT at the $600 price point, brand new, I knew I had to have it. I was looking for a GMT complication, which is quite nice for me, having family back in Europe. I am here in Asia, and also I have colleagues in Europe, so it's always easy to, with your GMT watch, to see when is a good time to call over there. Also, I'm weirdly attracted to extra buttons, extra pushers, or extra crown. Particularly in an asymmetric position. So here you have the crown, which operates the inner bezel that selects the location for your second time zone. And I love to have it here at the, 9:30, almost 10 o'clock per position. Now let's look at the dial. Here in the sun you can see that it has some sunburst effect. It's not quite black in the center, it's almost dark gray. Now the chapter ring is, I've just noticed this after wearing this watch for 3 months. So you can see that even after 3 months this watch still distills some surprises. The upper half of the chaptering ring is black, while the lower half is gray, and it's a very dark gray. I guess it's called anthracite, and yeah, I find it really beautiful and very discreet, and it kind of tells you when it's daylight on your second time zone. If you think about it, 6 o'clock to in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening in most places, unless it's in north of Norway, for example. It's going to be daylight, and you have in black in the upper ring, in the upper half ring, you have the night. Now I like the writing on this dial. Hamilton automatic GMT, straight to the point, nothing superfluous. The GMT ties in with the date window at the 6 o'clock position very well. I think it is lovely done. Now the hands, as you can see, are beautifully polished. There's a little bit of loom on them, as well as on the applied markers, but the loom won't last very long. Of course, it's very thin. It's a lovely thin loom effect, but it's going to last you maybe an hour or two, maybe a bit more if you've really recharged the watch very well. But that's not the point of the watch. This is not a watch that really goes underwater. It only has 50 meter of water resistance, and it's not really a watch that you can really read at night for a long period of time. So back to the dial. Beautiful seconds hand. As you can see, the sweep is very smooth. This watch is running an ETA 2893-2, which runs at 28,800 beats per hour, which is really great. It makes quite a difference to me compared to the 21,600 that you often find in a Seiko, for example. The first time I tried to set the time on this watch, I was slightly confused because the numbering on the chaptering ring referred to the second time zone, while the beautiful 3D polished applied markers, which have some sort of a arrow shape to them, refer to the main time. Once you get used to it, it is very legible, and you can at a glance see what time it is in your second location. Here it is 2:30, for example, in the morning, and it is in the dark side of the chaptering. I like that the dash of color, the red, is also present at the 12 o'clock. Now let's go to the outer ring, which is a great feature of this watch, and I think it's tastefully done with an off-white color and a black color. It is operated with the second crown, which is a screw-down crown, so you don't risk to move the this second location by mistake. And here it is, and it's very well done. There's no wobbling. If you're used to the Seiko Alpinist, I think the inner ring, the inner bezel, it's kind of wobbly. Here it is pure class, very hard. I'm going to set it back on Paris, which is my time zone of interest. You don't have the half time zone like the time in India, for example. Here you just have the 24 hours. Now the main crown doesn't screw down, so that's probably why you don't have 100 meter of water resistance, only 50. But I like it because you can recharge the power reserve by winding it very easily, immediately, and it's incredibly smooth. I would say it is buttery smooth. It is almost Omega smooth. It compares very well to my Omega Seamaster Aquaterra, which is the very best. This one is almost there, really fantastic. Now on the second position, you can hack the seconds, as you can see here, and you can adjust your main time. And on the first position, this is where the magic happens. One direction will change the date, the other direction will change your second time hand. So I'm not sure which one is which. Let's go down and see what happens. There you go, I've changed the date. Now if I go up, I changed the second time zone by increments of 1 hour, which means that the minutes are always set to follow the main time zone minutes. Here you can just change it by increments of 1 hour. It's a nice little feature. Now before I bought this watch, I was eyeing Zenith Captain Dual Time from their Elite range of watches. Beautiful watch, very thin. And it has actually a pusher here. It's a great complication. So you just push to change the second time hand by increments of 1 hour. Very elegant way to do it, but that watch costs upwards of $3,000. Right, now let's talk about the finish on this watch, which I think sets its price point where it is, and I can understand why it retails at the $1,000 price point. It is incredibly beautiful. You can see yourself in the polish. There's a matted portion here and here, and here you get to the polish portion. I love this detail here where the polished portion just gets wider and wider, but always with a round shapes. It's a very round watch, and the case shape is quite amazing because although it's a 42mm watch, it sits very flat on your hand, and this lug here will hug your wrist bone here just perfectly. So it is one of the best wearer that I own, even though it is one of the largest watches that I own, and especially for a dress watch. Some might say this is a sporty watch, but it doesn't really work for me in shorts. This one is great with a suit. It's great with a smart casual attire, maybe a black jeans or something like that. And I'm not sure what the Jazzmaster refers to. It's true that it kind of reminds me of New York in the 50s and a jazzy atmosphere. It would fit right in a club, in a jazzy club, but it works great for me at the office. So back to the case. Yeah, you see the crown here is a sign on both sides, which is a sign of quality and attention to details. The glass is a sapphire crystal, slightly domed, tastefully executed with there's no distortion of the dial. It's great legibility. At the back you also have sapphire crystal, and as you can see the movement, the ETA movement 2893-2. It is no secret that Hamilton is part of the Swatch group and that they use the ETA movements. All right. The rotor is beautifully designed, Hamilton, and you have the rest of the information at the back. Now the movement runs, as I said, 28,800 beats per hour, which is great and smooth and lovely. At first it was running too fast, about really fast, like 20 seconds a day. Now it's settling down at 9 seconds per day, which is quite good, and hopefully it's going to slow down a bit more and get within COSC. I feel like it's a movement that can be operating very consistently. Now let's talk about the bracelet here, which at first was a bit stiff, but after a couple of days wearing it, really took the shape of my wrist, and I like to have a tight fit, which I think is good for this watch because it can sit very flat on your wrist. You have a nice embossed detail here, and then the rest of the bracelet is very soft. As you can see, it has softened up really nicely, and you have this beautifully machined clasp here. You see it shines, and it tucks the excess of the strap inside, which is great for a neat look and to be able to wear the watch with any dress cuff. As you can see again, the buckle is signed and has beautiful details here, some polished details on the side here. Even the pushers have a nice shape to them. So really Hamilton goes into a lot of details, and I think this is where they stand out from, for example, the Seiko, which sometimes don't over-design certain elements of the watch which are not to them that important. I think that Hamilton doesn't leave anything to chance, and I want to make sure that you are happy with every detail of your watch, and I really appreciate this. And the more I wear this watch, the more I look at it, the more I enjoy it. Now let me know what you think about this watch in the comments. I think I've pretty much said everything I had to say about it. And this is my introduction to the Hamilton brand, and I have to say it's a fantastic piece, and there's nothing I can find that is wrong with it. The only thing I would say is that maybe in the summer, when my wrist will expand, it will be a bit difficult to wear the watch throughout the day, maybe cold in the office with the air conditioning and hot outside. Sometimes I get some red spots wearing it, but it's a minor gripe, because when you wear the watch, as you can see, the fit is so comfortable and so close to the skin that I find it pure class. So there you go. This was my review of the Hamilton Jazzmaster GMT. It was a bit long, but I had a lot of things to say, and I don't think there's many reviews. There are many reviews of this watch on YouTube, so it was a good chance to be thorough and really recommend this watch if you're looking for GMT complication, or if you're looking for a first Hamilton automatic watch. Bye bye.